Hey guys, this is Dan from Ledger Support. How's it going? Okay, so today I'm going to talk about an issue that happens a lot to you guys, especially if you have multiple Ledger devices or if you have multiple recovery phrases. So let me show you what the issue is. Just a quick word about my setup. Today I'm working with my Nano S and I also have a Nano X with me, and I have one account in Ledger Live, which is an Ethereum account. What I'm going to try to do is spend from this account using my Nano S, okay? And I'll show you the issue and how to solve it. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so I'm going to select the account. All right, now I'm going to select the send button. I'm going to send to this address. This is my personal address. Click continue. All right, send max, medium fee, that's okay for me. Click continue and continue again. And let's see what happens. Okay, so first of all, the device is asking me to open the Ethereum app, which is normal, expected, okay, because you need the Ethereum app in order to spend from an account. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, it says application is ready. Let's see what happens in Ledger Live. Aha, okay, so there is an issue here. There's an error message. Something went wrong. Please check that your hardware wallet is set up with the recovery phrase or passphrase associated to the selected accounts. Learn more. If you click learn more, by the way, that will take you to a Help Center article that deals with how to solve this issue. But I'm going to tell you directly how to solve it. So what happens? Well, it's a recovery phrase issue, okay? The recovery phrase is the 24 words that was initially created by your device when you first set it up. Now, what this message means is that you have the wrong recovery phrase inside your device, and that's why you can't spend from the account. So just a quick word about the recovery phrase. It's not just a random list of words, okay? Your recovery phrase, it's not optional. It's actually your private keys, and you need your private keys to spend from your accounts, okay? So in my case, I have the wrong recovery phrase inside my device, so I don't have the private keys that control the account that I'm trying to spend from, and that's why I'm getting this issue. So what happened? Okay, so many different things might have happened. First of all, maybe my device was reset at some point. So when the device is reset, the private keys get wiped from the device. It sounds scary, but it's not actually scary. What it means is that the device just forget about the private keys. The private keys still exist because they exist on your recovery phrase, okay? But the private keys temporarily forgot about those private keys. So what you can do instead, you can restore the private keys inside your device by using your recovery phrase. So maybe that's what you should do. Maybe the device was reset. Instead of restoring your old recovery phrase into your device, you went ahead and selected set up as new device. As a result, the device created a new recovery phrase for you, and that is that recovery phrase that is currently inside the device and not the recovery phrase that controls the account that you're trying to spend from. Okay, so that can be the first thing that can happen. The second thing that can happen is whether you have a passphrase or not. So a passphrase is an optional security feature where basically you have your 24 recovery phrase and you had a 25th word. And now you have two sets of accounts. You have accounts that are secured by your 24 words, and you have accounts that are secured by your 25 words. And the way you can toggle between those two accounts is by using a different pin. So you've got one pin that unlocks the private keys that are secured by your 24 word phrase, and you've got a pin that unlocks the private keys that are secured by your 25 words phrase. Okay, so that's the difference. So maybe you used the wrong pin to log into your device, and that's the reason why the device doesn't have the private keys to spend from this account. That might explain why you're getting the error. Okay, that might be the second thing. Another issue might be that you have only one device. Okay, for example, you have only one Nano S device, but you have multiple recovery phrases. In this case, you just have the wrong phrase inside the device, and all you need to do is reset the device, restore the device with the correct recovery phrase, and then try the transaction again. And that's fine. Okay, again, restoring a device is safe as long as you keep your 24-word recovery phrase. This is very, very important, guys. This is not optional. I know it sounds optional because it says recovery phrase, but it's not just for recovery purposes. It's really your private keys. So keep them secure. Please do it. Okay, so that's the third scenario where you have one device but multiple recovery phrases. All you need to do is just rotate the correct phrase inside the recovery the device. Okay. Now the last scenario is where you actually have multiple ledger devices. So in my case, I said I had a Nano S, but I also have a Nano X. Now, just so you know, the Nano X is seeded with a different recovery phrase than the one that's in my Nano S. Okay, so it has different private keys. So hey, maybe the private keys to spend from my Ethereum account are actually in my Nano X and not my Nano S. So let's see. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to unplug my Nano S from my computer. Okay, now I'm going to turn on my Nano X. All right, I'm going to unlock the Nano X. Okay, boom, enter the pin. I'm only using a 4-digit pin, but for you guys at home, use a 8-digit pin. It's much more secure. This is my work Nano. Okay, it doesn't have a lot of money on it, but if it's your personal Nano, definitely use an 8-digit pin. Much more secure. Okay, so I'm going to unlock it. Make sure I've got the Ethereum app. That's the case. So boom, here we go. Application is ready, so I'm ready to create the transaction. I'm going to cross that out. I'm going to click account again, so I'm going to do the same thing again. Up, click here, and send up. Just want to make sure it's plugged in. Okay, continue. Here I'm going to send the max. Click continue. And click continue, and let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. All right, so here you see like I'm getting like a different message here. It seems like the transaction went through to my device, and now it's expecting me to confirm the transaction. And you can tell because it says review transaction on my device. I'm not actually accept and send the transaction, but all I need to do if I wanted to was to accept and send, right? But just to show you that the issue was solved by just using a different device that has the private keys that control the accounts that was giving me an error before. Okay, so again, the things that you have to, if you get this error, okay, something went wrong passphrase, wrong recovery, private key, sorry, all you have to think is, okay, was my ledger device reset, and have I created a new recovery phrase? Do I own multiple ledger devices? And if yes, do they have multiple different recovery phrases, and can I try different devices to spend from the account? Do I own multiple recovery phrases? If yes, I might need to rotate those phrases into my device and try multiple times to spend from the account, and whether my device has a passphrase or not. Okay, so those are the things you should check, and to make sure that you have the correct private keys to spend from the correct account. So if you want a little more information about this, we have a cool Help Center article that just talks about everything I just said, called Wrong Private Keys for Accounts. And it just basically presents the issue, the same issue that we dealt with. And then it presents like all the different steps that you can do to try to solve this issue. And yep, that's it, guys. So if you have any issues, or if you want to, if you need anything really, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can reach us out via the support page. All you need to do is click on the help button here. Also, you can find us on Twitter. We are at ledger_support, and you can also ask your questions there. Okay. I hope that was useful, guys, and I'll see you next time for a different video. Cheers.